Hello guys, welcome back again to Hill Studios and let's get started. So if you look at our previous tutorial, what we did is, let me divide it into two. Yeah. If we look at our previous tutorial, we divided the players into teams based on their arrival and we spawned them at two different locations. Got it? Now what we're going to do. In this video, we're going to add UI like health, and we're also adding scores for both teams so that the both teams can see like what is the score of each other team. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get started. So if you go to a blueprints, there is main menu TDM. There will be another folder called player. So that is our player stuff related. And let us move this third person character to our player folder. Let me just decrease frame rate 20, scalability low. Okay, fine. So, and also let us create a UI for our player so that he can see his health and also the scores of his blue team, red team, whatever. Widget blueprint and player UI. Okay. Now, if you go to player UI, now inside the player UI, you want to have a bar, progress bar, and you want a health bar. Okay. Now, what happens to the health bar is that it increases the percentage the bar will increase the percentage like picking it. So it depends on variable. So we don't need to worry about this thing that now we'll worry about it 15 afterwards. Now let us try to add our scores here. So how do we do that? So I'm going to do it much more simple because I'm not in UI design, so I'm not design perfectly, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to corner it here and I'm going to change this color to somewhat like this and I'm going to add text. That says like score or something like that. Score and So now we made the UI. Now what are we going to do? We need to display it, right? So we'll go to our player. I feel like, yeah, let us display it. Not a problem at all. So we'll go to a third person character and in the event graph, as I already said, there is a function called event begin play. So in event begin play, what we are going to do is we're going to display the UI, but there is some conditions that we need to check before displaying UI. So let us say like if your friend and you are playing, his UI should not be appeared in your screen, right? Your player UI should display in your screen and other player UI should display in his screen, right? So it's pretty simple. What we're going to do is get is locally controlled. Is locally controlled. So what it tells is like whether we are locally controlling this pawn or not. If we are not locally controlling, we don't need this UI, right? So that's it. So we're going to check a branch condition, and if we are locally controlling it, then what we're going to do is we're going to create a widget, and the widget is player UI, and then we're going to add to viewport. That's it. So if we hit play now, this player UI is here and this player UI is also here. Okay, now we display the UI. Now what? Now we need score. Before having score, I just need to change some stuff here. Wait. I just push it something like that. Yeah. And also let me keep it something like this. Okay. Now let us check our UI once again. Okay, whatever really. Yeah. Okay. Now how do we get this score? Where should we add score? So if you are adding score in the character, that's a big mistake because Unreal Engine provides its own stuff. If you look at the world settings, you have game state. Game state is where you have to store information related to the game, like how much time related until the end of the game, what is the score of each team, and what is the state of the game. Is it starting, running, stopped, ending, something like that. And what's the meaning of player state? Player state is something that is related to the player, like player name, player score, player health, or number of kills the player achieved. So let me tell you one thing. For each game state will be only one. So if you play this match now, there'll be only one game state class. So if you need to access any information, you can access it from game state. But player state is unique for each and every player. So you might ask like, why do I need to store it in game state? Why can't I store it in game mode? Yeah. What happens is that game mode exists only on the server and game state exists in every client. So let's say you are a client, you are a guy who is playing the game and you just want to access blue team score and red team score. If you are storing it some character, it's extremely hard. But if you store it in game state, it is extremely easy. And game state also has replication, like it will replicate to all of the clients. Similar to player state as well. If you want to access your player state class or name, whatever, if you store it in player state, it will get replicated and everyone can easily access it. So I hope you guys get it. If it is something related to game, then store it in game state. If it is something related to player, store it in player state. So let's go to TDM and let us create a game state class. If you are using game mode, then use game state. If you are using game mode base, then choose game state base. But I am choosing game state. EDM game state. Got it, guys? So now what we're doing? It's pretty simple now. Go to okay. Let's create two variables. One variable is for blue team score, and other variable is for red team score. Now, if you go to the player UI, so what we can do is we can write an event update score event. You can update score every frame, but I feel like it is something that will not help you too much if you are updating every frame. So I'll update every 3 seconds. So what you have to do is pretty simple. Go to event construct and event construct, set timer by event and keep it 5 seconds. So for every 5 seconds it will run. What is the event name? Add custom event update score. So what you need to do is before that I'm going to get game state and get game state and cast to like TDM game state. Yeah, cast to TDM game state and promote it to variable so that you don't need to cast every time, right? So then what you need to do is here you can just get this game state, get blue team score, get red team score. So and also I'm going to change this text dynamically. So I'm going to set it as variable and I'm going to set it as score var and I'll go to the graph and I'll get this score var. Okay, and I'm going to say like set text. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to append this thing, string append. What I'm going to append is like I'm going to append blue team score first, then slash, then red team score, and I'm going to add it here. So now this function will execute like every 5 seconds. You have once one every 5 seconds, and you're saving a lot of frame capacity as well. Instead of running it every frame, you're running it every once in 5 seconds. So you can do that. So that's how it works, guys. And let us see now. So if you see, it is still 18/20, but we'll wait for 5 seconds. Okay, still not updating. Okay, wait, let me check it out. So if you go to blue team and screen score, it is 0/0. And if you go to player UI, get game state. Oh wait, what happened is that I still didn't set this to TDM game state. So the casting failed there. So that's why we never get anything. So we'll wait for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now you got 0/0. You can see now you got 0/0, right? So it will run for every 5 seconds just to see what is the score of red team and blue team people. So okay, Okay, so this player is something that is placeholder. We can just delete him. Okay, I hope you guys are getting it, what I am trying to say. So, yeah. So, now after 5 seconds, score is 0-0. Now, let me remove that score variable, or let me put it aside to be honest. Okay, let me delete it. You know it is score, right? So, that's not a problem at all. Now, now it's 0-0. Cool. Now, what should we do? Let me try to add health variable and let us increment the health variable, and the next video I'm going to add weapons, and then we're going to add some damages and see how player shell variables change. So let's add health. So adding health is pretty simple. You just need to create a variable called health. If you guys don't know how to program, you should learn how to program, then only you can do it efficiently. So yeah, so you can just write your own logic if you increase, and health can be something like 0, 100. Yeah, so let us do it in a 100 way. Yeah, let us do it 100. And since health should be extremely, like, it should be updated frame by frame, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to, okay, I'm going to create a variable called player character, and the variable name is third person character. So then I go into this slider, and there is a function called percent and bind. So bind is like where you can create a binding. Okay, wait. So instead of that, okay, no, I have to bind it up. Okay, so now what I can do is I can get this player character, and I can get health. So for slider, the value should be in between 0 to 1. So I'm going to divide this thing by 100. So one thing that you guys need to remember is like health should be integer. It should be float. Otherwise, you're still going to get every time you're going to get only integer. This is something that I learned. So let me remove it and again access health. Okay, and divide it by float only, not integer. Divide it by 100. So let us say your health is 100, 100 by 100, 1. If your health is 50, 50 by 100, 2. I hope you guys are getting it. So that's it. Now if you try to print health, it will not give anything because we are not assigning player character any, we are not assigning anything to player character, right? So player character is essentially null. So where do we assign it? We will assign it here while the process of creating. Once when we create the widget, we can here like set player character. We can set the variable here. We can set the variable here. Just a minute. Yeah, we can set the variable here, and we can create self and just add this thing here. So by this way we fill the variable, or we assigned a reference to this particular player character, and yeah. So now if we play, this one will update every frame, guys. It's not like every 5 seconds. What happens is that whenever we are rendering this, when Unreal Engine is rendering this particular health bar, it will check for the person, but we are not giving any value. We are assigning it to a function. So it will go to the function and it will execute it. It will get the player character, get its health, divide it by 100 and assigning it here. It will run every frame. So you guys don't need to worry. If you don't want to run every frame, you can also create an event which runs every 2 seconds, every 3 seconds, something like that, just saving the frames. So let me just check it out. So I am going to set health to 50 so that you guys can see whether the slider updates or not. It updates. See, you guys can see its updates. So yeah, so that is how player score and health variable is set. So all the basic stuff is ready. Now what we're going to do is like we're going to add weapons. Like we're going to add these weapon stuff, and once we add the weapon stuff, most likely we can also add damage. I think tomorrow I'm going to add weapons, and I'm also going to add damage, like damage stuff to it, so that you guys can see health updating and dying. And I think that's I'll do it afterwards. Yeah. So hope you guys enjoy this session. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. And game state is used for information related to the game, and player state is for every player. What is the time? 15 seconds, 15 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoy this session. Thank you, and subscribe and join Discord so that you guys can give me feedback on my game. Bye.